darkness, there is only war in the grim dark future. There's no...
Bam! Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Hobby Ramblers with our special guest, Mr. Talcan. Hello, Mr. Talcan.
Thanks, Bill.
Yes. So, of course, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Molly Malal, from Instagram and YouTube, hopefully. And I'm Bill from Dragon Tooth Miniatures. And, thank you very much for supporting this segment. This segment has been going really well. Hobby Ramblers has been doing a lot of views, and a lot of people have stepped up to actually come up and talk about their hobby. So I'm really appreciative that you all are really, really supporting us in that matter. So keep it up, and just comment down below if you would like to be featured on. But yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And like always, any old hobby will do, from War Machine Hordes, Warhammer, all the Games Workshop, Red-Headed Stepchildren, Gunpla, which we're going to be talking about a bit today. Heck, if you build model trains and you really, really want to talk to us about it, we really, really want to hear about it.
Yeah, model trains are awesome. Also, still not sponsored by Hibiki Suntory Whiskey. Please come and sponsor us, because that is what I'm drinking today still. And my stocks of this are running low because of the shortage.
So please help Bill.
Yes, help me get drunk on these shows so I can have better conversations. Anyway, yes. Anyway, let's back to our special guest, Mr. Talcan. Please introduce yourself. You may use your real name if you wish, or you may use a pseudonym. That is up to you.
I'm Talcan, or Chris, as I'm known to my friends. I really started with hobby when I was young. I started by building model cars and model military aircraft, like a lot of hobbyists do.
Ooh.
I really started getting into Warhammer when I was in junior high. I had a friend who had me over, and I saw his collection of tiny plastic men. And I'm like, those things are really freaking cool. What is that? And he told me about Warhammer, and he sent me home with an Eldar Viper jet bike that he didn't want anymore.
Wow, okay, that's a good friend.
Why you're still an Eldar addict. That makes so much sense.
That's a good friend.
That I ever had anything for. So I rapidly painted up that Eldar jet bike with some canvas paints I was using for painting my Gunpla at the time.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how did you get started in your model making and tank building thing? Did you just randomly come up to a shop and say I want to build this, or was it did your dad introduce it to you?
Again, I think it was through friends that I got the interest from. A friend of mine that I was really close with while I was really young had some really cool military aircraft models. So I wanted to do the same thing. So I got a couple of those, and I found that I really enjoyed making models.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was involved with religion fairly heavily. So the pastor of my church was, trying to mentor me as they do. And he fostered that love of model building. And I built several car models with him.
Wow, okay.
I still have, which is a 66 Camaro. And we painted every little piece of it. Every little piece.
That's an amazing pastor. That's an awesome pastor.
Yeah, he was a really, really good guy. And even after I've lost touch with the faith there, he would still reach out to me to make sure we're doing all right. When my dad passed, he saw over my dad's funeral. So he's a good friend of the family.
So just genuinely really good man and friend of the family.
Yeah, very good man. Yeah.
I'll segue into the slightly similar but totally divergent way I got into modeling. Top Gun the movie.
Top Gun the movie. Yes.
Yep, I wanted to build a Tomcat so bad after that. So not only was that movie a bisexual awakening for John David, because holy fuck, that volleyball scene, gay.
Yes.
Second, it fostered my love for building and painting tiny wee things. So similar, very different.
I too did build a Tomcat for my love of Top Gun.
I have not built a Tomcat yet. I need to build one, apparently.
Yeah, danger zone.
Yeah.
Bill, the Tomcat is still one of my favorite military aircraft.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Aesthetically, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Beautiful piece of machinery.
I would also have to agree as well. It is it's sleek and it's very 90s. It's very 90s.
It is.
And yeah, powerful, and it's got a big butt.
It's big. It's very American.
butt.
It's like big butt, big missiles. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that should be America's new slogan: "Big butt, big missiles." Come get them.
Big missiles. Yeah. Yeah. So my love of building models comes from my youth, and like I said, I ran into Warhammer because of a friend I had in junior high and high school. I really started falling into Warhammer hard during high school and after high school. That's actually where I met Molly. He was working at the Games Workshop while I was frequently at the Games Workshop.
Ooh.
Yeah. Chris was like one of my favorite regulars because he was in no way a tool, and really nice guy to talk to, and again, totally not a tool.
Oh. So he wasn't me when I was a teenager at my local game shop. When I was like,
yeah, he was the anti-Bill.
Yeah.
he wasn't just like, this unit sucks. Why would you ever get this? Get this out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, Bill, calm down.
Yeah, so like I said, I fell hard into it. I started by expanding my Eldar army from the one Viper. The first Games Workshop I actually physically went to was the Games Workshop in West Edmonton Mall while my family was on a trip there. And my dad saw the prices of the models and was flabbergasted. And
Yup.
I wanted a box of Eldar Guardians, and he said fine, because there's 20 Eldar in that box, and I think it was $40 at the time. So I was like, I'm okay with paying that. But to get anything else, you're gonna have to buy it yourself. And then I found the Chinook Games Workshop. I believe my mom and sister saw a movie at Chinook Center and told me about the giant space marine in the window, so I had to go see it.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where I met Molly and other mutual friends that we still have to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
We both ended up working with and having a great time with.
Awesome.
Yep.
After expanding my Eldar, I went into Space Marines. And I think every Space Marine player, when they're first building their Space Marines, do this. I put my shoulder pads on the wrong way.
Wait, what?
So it looked like they had big football shoulder pads.
Yeah. So they had like big
Instead of,
old hockey pads on.
Yeah, big old.
Oh, so they're very
And-
Judge Dredd then. Very like.
Yeah. And the staff at Games Workshop, including Molly, ridiculed me pretty bad for it.
Yes, we did.
I would have been like, oh, your shoulders are pretty cool. What the hell? What did you use? It's like, oh, just what was in the kit. And it was like, really?
Oh,
I'm like, that's not how they're supposed to go on? What?
I mean, they
talking
look.
about? That's madness.
Yeah, that's better.
But between my my love and lust for Warhammer, I found Gunpla before. I started by building the Master Grade range, which is a larger scale of Gundam, because bigger is of course always better.
Yeah.
Not, but
Yes, it is.
And-
Always, in all aspects. No one should read in any. Nobody should read anything into that.
No,
Yes.
Not at all.
not at all.
Uh,
And yeah, so between model aircraft and model cars,
hey, I always speak the truth, man. I always speak the truth.
yeah, I was into Gunpla, and I think I built about a dozen Gunpla out of the Master Grade and the Perfect Grade range.
Ooh.
Between and overlapping with beginning with Warhammer. And it sort of helped me understand how to put together the Warhammer miniatures better, because the Gunpla was obviously a more intricate and complex model than the Warhammer is.
Yep.
Um,
And I would
then-
say much more enjoyable to build.
yes and no. I love building Warhammer, but I love cutting them apart and reposing them.
Oh
Okay,
my
well,
god, yeah.
that- That will be something we'll cover on our third segment, but there's a caveat
Okay.
to that, especially with the newer kits that I would like we can
Yes.
touch on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not fun.
My Space Marine army has to be one of the most diversely posed armies that I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Kung Fu Marine, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do have the Kung Fu Marine. I also have a Space Marine leaping off of a downed drone. Things like that.
Ooh.
I still have that 2 Space Marines high-fiving that you
Oh,
gave me
man.
when I moved away from Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is so cool. You should send that to like the Wednesday show so we can like have a look at that.
Yeah,
Send some of your work over, man.
I'll dig it out of my sacred treasures box.
Yeah, send some of your work, man. Like, geez, that sounds awesome. We can do Gunpla as well. That's also awesome as well.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely take a lot of pictures for you. Most of my stuff is unpainted or base coated, because one of the things that I really struggle with the hobby is painting. I just don't seem to either have enough time or patience to continue to do it.
Which I can say candidly, you're a very good painter, but you're also glacially slow. And
yeah.
that's coming from someone who is not the quickest gun in the West.
Yep.
I'm glacially slow is a very good way to describe how I paint.
If only you could commission a service that would get you your painted miniatures in a reasonable time frame that has international shipping. But who could that be?
I don't know.
Plug.
Yeah, I do commission painting like on the side just to keep up the channel and to support like my lust for equipment for this channel.
Well, maybe I'll send you a unit or two. I do like having multiple people's paint styles in my army. It sort of separates
Yeah,
everything
man.
and it doesn't make it
Yeah,
look
man.
all boring.
Yeah, man. Like we'll talk after. I'll send you to my Instagram. Then you can take a look at my paint style and see if you like it or not. Because it's
I've seen your
interesting.
miniatures. I do like it. So
Oh, there you go. Ooh.
The beginning of a romance, a painting romance,
ooh, a painting.
That's the best
romance.
kind of romance.
a
That's the best
painting romance, even better.
Well, everyone here has worked in GW, right? Like, have you ever had the whole thing where you're trying to teach someone how to hold the brush, and they're just holding it wrong, and you're like, hold on, stop, wait, and you have to do you have to do the whole like, okay, I'm gonna hold your hands and I'm gonna move it, and you're gonna give them like kind of a back hug, like that, like what's the movie called when you're
Teaching someone to play pool.
No, not even just that. Not even just that, because remember, GW has those high chairs, right? So I always feel it's like that scene in that one movie where like there's like the lady making that like pottery out of clay, and like the ghost is like kind of like
Ghost, yeah,
the ghost.
Patrick Swayze,
Yeah.
Demi Moore.
Yeah. So I always feel it's a bit like that, and I'm like, hold on, wait,
Yeah.
Like so,
I never had to actually hold someone's hand. I would always take my paintbrush and hold it and say, you would hold it like this. You hold it very similar to how you hold a pencil or a pen.
Oh no, some people
the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
some people need that extra
then again,
instruction.
Some people do like ice pick grip it, like they murder their model
I've
with
seen
it.
this.
And
Yeah.
I've seen this. Oh, this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this. I've seen that.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
calligraphy
I've seen
style.
that.
So this is the calligraphy style, which is correct. This is the correct way we're holding a calligraphy pen, but brush
However,
different.
However, yeah.
Not what our
And then
purposes are
again-
for.
I've seen this as well.
yep,
So,
where you choke so far up and just
yep.
Yep. Honestly, I'm fine with that. If people want to do that, that's like, okay, go for it, bro.
Yeah, whatever. So,
yeah.
Because that's not incorrect. But
no,
incorrect is when you're...
just- Yeah, it's just not optimal.
It's not optimal for what you're doing. You might want to do that when you're doing eyeballs, but not when you're doing a
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
Fucking Hobbit buttons.
The
Why do they have
Hobbits are
so many
awesome.
buttons?
Because they're
It's hot.
people of the Shire.
Yeah,
You know,
they like
need
buttons.
those
People in the shower.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, fucking A.
So Gunpla Journey, yes. I really like Gunpla. I've got one kit that was given to me by a friend. It's a Zaku. I'm not sure what kind of grade it is. I think it's a master grade. So I haven't built it yet. It's still like in the box. So I'm definitely gonna be opening up soon.
Right?
Doing, like we might do something with it. We might do a stream on it or something. I don't know. Maybe like you
Yeah.
know.
That'd be
Sure.
fun, because I have an unbuilt Zaku that a certain amazing person got for me, so that could be a fun stream.
Yeah,
You
the
also
Zaku.
have-
W dudes try and build Zakus.
There you go. Your
I'm just like-
Zaku is probably a lot easier to build than Bill's is.
Oh, probably. It's chibi.
It is cheap.
Oh, it's a chibi's. Hey, that's cheating. That's cheating.
He does,
No,
however,
it's
have
chibi.
a
It's not cheating,
notorious.
it's chibi.
He has a notorious real grade Zeta model that I
I
gave
do
him as
also
well.
have that, which intimidates the shit out of me.
And it's
like, just
notorious
looking
for
at the
being a hand
screw.
grenade. So
Oh,
with
really?
that one, yes.
Ooh. 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 Yeah, I need. There's a Gunpla shop that I've gotta like frequent to get some of my more specialized hobby stuff. So I need to get
Yeah.
me a spray booth from there at some point to support them and go like, here's a bunch of money, give me my spray booth because I need it because I'm using lacquers and it smells and it gives me a headache.
Yes. Yeah.
I
I
don't
actually,
make 150.
Yeah.
my friend who actually painted one of my Gunplas for me, we can go into that story later. He's actually gifted me 2 spray booths. I'm going to send one to Molly, which does require a fan and filters. But he's also given me a Tomato spray booth that has the fan, filters, and tubing, everything. So I just need a good place to set it up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on. Myself and Paul and Megan and the kids appreciate you sending me a spray booth.
Yes. I'm sure everyone will.
Yep. I need one, and I've got my own little space here, and there's a balcony out there that I opened the door on. It still smells.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Those lacquer paints are just.
Oh,
something
man.
else.
Yeah, I've left Mr. Metals open a little too long and felt a little high.
Yeah, I've used Molotov pens, and it's just like it's made me fucking a bit
Oh,
like, whoa.
yeah. Even the pens are just.
That is
disastrous
strong
for
stuff.
using them too much.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that is strong. That's some strong hoochie in there. That's ooh. That really
So
smells.
good flow safe,
Yeah.
kids. Always crack a window.
Yeah, always
Always
tracking.
have ventilation. Always have
Yeah.
ventilation.
Yeah. So I turn on the air conditioner and just open the door, and it's like it still smells.
Yeah. I try and open the window and use the fan, but I still get complaints about the smells.
Oh man, yeah. You need like after you spray, it lingers for about an hour or two, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. It is so bad. Yeah, the spray booth. I'm definitely gonna get it. I'm gonna get a pretty big one. I've got to redo my little PC setup here to be a little bit taller, but I think it'll be worth it because I won't have massive headaches all the time.
And you won't be high all the time either.
I mean, being high is not bad because no marijuana here, but I miss marijuana.
But at least with pot, your brain doesn't actually like disappear slowly like it does with pain.
Yeah, I don't want Alzheimer's at a super young age. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would rather get liver disease. Thank you very much from excessive drinking.
Thank you.
That's how I want to go.
So I guess good next question for you there, bud, is holy shit, we're Canadian.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah, bud. Hey.
Friend.
You want to go out for a rip and talk about some Gunpla?
Yeah.
What was the catalyst? Because knowing you well, I know you've drifted away from GW as a hobby or an active hobby. Like you still play with your old dudes, you still work on projects and stuff, but it's primarily on your existing collection. Where with your Gunpla, I've noticed that has replaced the Games Workshop. You know the dopamine fix of buying a new cool model.
Yeah. Honestly, it boils down to Gunpla and Warhammer is roughly about the same price point, but with Gunpla you get a more finished product right out of the box. With Gunpla, everything like the sheets of plastic, the sprues, are all color separated. So you get it's not gonna show. You get
get one of the white ones out. Plastic. Get a blue or white one out.
Oh, that was a red one.
What? It looks green.
Yeah.
It looks green on
them. So they use various different colored plastics to mold different pieces, and that gets you a more complete looking model without having to paint it. So just
while also allowing you to take that next step in painting it, but already having like things gridded out for you, your hard angles and your 90 degrees are already there.
Most of the time, yes. Yeah. Some models are very sticker reliant, but they're fairly easy to fill in where the sticker should be. Pardon me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all good. We all burp. We all fart. It's all right.
Yep.
But I'm
just like that children. Just like that.
Oh yeah, we apologize for the darndest things.
Yeah,
even when we're doing
apologizing.
Yeah, apologize for the low alcohol.
We're intentionally mean.
Apologize for the low alcohol content of my maple syrup.
I'll send you a bottle of Crown longer for you.
Why can't I get drunk off maple syrup?
I mean,
leave it in the sun longer.
Yeah, there you go.
No, then flies will get in it. I don't want that.
You want fly booze?
Yeah, so I mean, the more finished product is probably the greatest determining factor there. I do still very much love Warhammer and all the product the Games Workshop puts out. It's just I'm honestly sick of seeing gray plastic.
Fair, dude.
Like
fair.
I think the difference between Gunpla and what most people think is Games Workshop is basically the what happens after you finish the model. So
yeah, to be fair, I mean the most I do with my Gunpla collection is put it on a shelf and display it. I recently have found rules to play Warhammer 8th edition, but using my Gunpla instead of Warhammer models.
Which I think sounds super dope.
Yeah,
I think there is.
We need to get one-page rules. Because apparently it's just like no matter what system you want to do,
Yeah.
you just plug it in. So we could do Gundams versus Space Marines. We could do dinosaurs versus Evangelion. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I was about to just suggest that. I know for a fact there is a dedicated Gunpla game that was made by the community, and I have played that, but that is a little bit off.
There's been several. I started following one a couple years ago. I forget what it's called. But like the pilots and the mechs were different stat lines, and when you put them together, you get your entire stat line,
Yeah.
which I thought was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game was,
Crunchy, eh?
yeah, the rest of the game was a little convoluted and a little hard to follow.
Yeah. I played that game, I think, and like one of my friends gave me like a Zaku tank and was just like, oh yeah, Bill, you gotta separate. It's like what the Zaku tank does. It's like, oh, what happens when you separate? You get half a Zaku and a tank that both can shoot, and like, and both are flying around. It's like, that seems a bit broken.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the big difference between them is what you do with after you build them,
Yeah, so most people gravitate towards Warhammer because of the game and what they can do with the game, especially in the very beginning stages. And then for Gunpla, I think the only thing that's missing with Gunpla is that I guess people aren't motivated to finish it because there isn't something like a greater goal other than finishing it.
Right, and honestly, that's sort of an oversight on Bandai Sunrise's part there.
Yeah, I mean, they have a great animation series that is still going on to this day. Like, they couldn't pull in, like, a Gunpla, like skirmish game or RPG system or whatever. Like,
yeah, it would be fantastic if they did that. Honestly, Gundam is probably the granddaddy of the real robot anime genre.
No, absolutely. Personally, I have a connection to OG Gundams because that was the series I grew up with and the only one I'm familiar with. A lot of the other programs came out during my edgy, gothy teenage years, which certainly did not ingratiate me to them. I remember there was one with a scythe, and that was like, that's cool.
Yeah, Gundam Wing is what got me into Gundam, and it's honestly what got me into anime. Even though I was watching some anime before, it really sort of drove the nail home. And unfortunately, it's been replaced by the OG Gundam timeline, being the Universal Century timeline. There's just so much lore and history.
It's an iceberg, dude.
Yeah, they put into it. It's just hard not to love it, right? And even today, they're still adding more to the timeline. Recently, with like the Hathaway Flash movie, just expanding upon it. So
yeah. Like, that's the thing, it's such a wasted opportunity. Like, if they could make some sort of, like, even just like a skirmish game, like, 1, 2, or 3, like, pieces, and, like, in each side, that would...
Or even, like, start with a deathmatch game.
Yeah.
Choose your favorite Gundam ever, and, like, match
They did an anime about that.
Gundam.
They literally had an anime where you built Gunpla, and, like, they would come to life and start fighting each other on this like 3D holoboard thing, and it was like a 2-season anime.
Of course they did, yeah.
And they were good anime, but it was quite obvious what Bandai was doing, and they're just pushing the models.
I don't mind pushing the model, but can I play that game? But can I play that game?
Push it with something.
Yeah.
So they are trying to get into competitive gaming online.
What? How? What?
There's a new. It's called Gundam Evolution, I believe it's called.
Gundam
and it's
Evolution.
essentially Overwatch just with Gundam skins.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah. So they're trying to get into like the esports gaming with that. So I mean, it's not something that's been totally lost on Bandai because there's been a long series of Gundam video games,
yeah.
stretching all the way back to the NES.
But wouldn't it be simpler just to give us like rules to play with your models so that we can buy more?
Exactly, right?
Not like
So
making a video game is a much more expensive endeavor.
after we're done filming, brainstorm. We'll forward a draft to Bandai, and maybe the next time you see us, guys, we'll all be wearing bling.
Maybe we'll be hired by Bandai and we'll be like, sponsored by Bandai Incorporated.
sponsored by Bandai.
Gold teeth. Nothing but gold teeth.
The gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bandai is such an amazing genre. I got into it. I got into it when I was super young. When my father bought like a DVD box set. I think it was like season 1 and season 2 of Gundam Wing.
Oh no!
And I remember when I remember when the crappy Zaku's came out, and it was like. Oh, it was so bad. They looked so blocky and so clunky and that like, oh. But then progressively I saw them get better and better and it was like, more rounded edges. They looked like, they could actually do something and not just be like standing there static going like,
Yeah. I mention it to my friend Phil like fairly frequently when we're talking about new builders and trying to attract more customers and stuff. I remember building the old high grade series, Gundam, and just how terrible the models were. They wouldn't articulate right, they wouldn't fit together right. But now the high grade series is honestly a phenomenal model series. You just can't go wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyone out there is interested in Gunpla? High grade series.
Yeah, that's a good segue point. Get into it. Or you might just want to try GB. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like chibi stuff. Their heads are too big. It's adorable.
Yeah, it's adorbs. But there's certainly like a lot of potential in the Gundam IP, and it's like there's a lot of potential in that is quite untapped, and I like it's a bit confusing as to why Bandai hasn't really like pounced on that opportunity, because certainly GW is, and I think that the Gundam IP is a lot more ingrained in the general zeitgeist than Warhammer is.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, so it's kind of like if you made
perhaps we'll see something come from the new relationship between Warhammer and Games Workshop and Bandai than just the 6-inch statues.
Oh, yeah, because Bandai's making all the super high quality Space Marine pegs.
Yep.
So perhaps we'll see something come from that. Maybe a line of Warhammer-sized Gundam models for a war game based around Gundam, or a rule set to use existing models. So
I would rather
a crossover event.
Yes.
Where the Imperium fucks Gundam's universe up so hard, using all the biological warfare and living munitions they can get their hands on.
I mean, like, I would have rather liked it if Bandai was working with, like, Fantasy Flight Games or something like that to create, like... Yeah.
Or
just
even
because,
WizKids and Wizards of the Coast.
they're, I mean, to make an RPG, you just get WizKids to do it. You just get Wizards of the Coast to do it. I mean, like, D&D 5th edition... a lot of people have different things to say about D&D 5th edition, but I think it's a very clean-cut system. It's a very streamlined system.
It's the most accessible D&D I've ever seen, and I started into, 2nd edition advanced.
I started in 3 percentile armor saves.
You hit armor class 0. Why does that happen? Why is 0 the best? Why is minus 20 a thing?
It's so bad. But yeah, we've come a long way from that. But yeah, I would rather they got in contact with Fantasy Flight Games if they wanted to do like some sort of like skirmish type game, small scale skirmish type game, because Fantasy Flight does a lot of really great board games, and I'm sure they could like.
And they're really good with respecting IP. Like each of their very varied systems from different IPs reflect that IP really well in the way the game works. Star Wars Legion is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, Star Wars Legion is real good.
I think it has to do with Bandai being pretty tight-fisted about their IP, like Gamesworkshop was before the last few years.
Yeah.
But I feel that working with the, I don't know, like for me, Games Workshop, I think the game system is probably like the least kind of balanced and good thing about the company most of the time.
They've had balanced versions of their game, but I mean, yeah, I would have to agree. Lately, it's definitely not balanced. Lately, the newest version is.
I have to take it around a library to play my game.
Yeah.
So.
Like you need to like hire a small child to drag your pile of books from shop to shop.
Yeah, he holds it up like this, and it's like, thank you, sir. It's literally that bad now, and it's just like, come on, guys.
But it does add more credit to what I want to do. I do want to play in a grand tournament, dressed up to the nine with like a choir behind me, and people to move my models and everything. And I would just stand at the end of the table and be like Grey Knight robes. Grey Knight unit Paul, move behind those bushes. Then I have a little kid scurry over and move my models for me.
Have like a bunch of people in black morph suits just carrying servo skulls that like just circle the table.
I think I did that once at my local GW when I had an APOC game, and I brought in like all my gaunts, and it was like 800 gaunts or something. And it was just like, I think I just hired some people off Craigslist.
You just shove these 6 inches? Thanks.
Well, no, it was basically, I think I hired like 4 people, and all they did was basically just like quickly put them up 6 inches, and it was just like, I was just sitting down at the table.
And just move and remove, because Apocalypse is the game where you can like just delete 100 dudes at a time.
Yeah, and it was just like suddenly our yearly apocalypse day was a lot more crowded than usual. It's like, who are these 6 strangers, Bill? It's like, I hired them to move my models for me, and also to pack them in when they die. It's like, really? Oh man,
Yeah, I guess that takes us to our third prompt.
No, wait, we haven't answered our first prompt. I think we got sidetracked because it's like the second prompt was, what are you most excited about in the hobby?
What am I most excited about in the hobby? I do love all the new stuff that's coming out, with both Gundam and Warhammer, especially with Games Workshop's new sculpts are beautiful. And the advancements that Bandai has been doing with Gunpla is fantastic as well. They used to use these little rubberized pieces for all the joints, and most of the new models coming out don't use those rubber pieces anymore. Because those rubber pieces were notorious for wearing out and leaving sloppy joints.
Eesh. Yep. They rot.
Sloppy joints. No one likes sloppy joints.
No one likes sloppy joints.
Yeah. They should have taken a cue from Bionicle. They had some pretty good joints.
They did, yeah. And they kind of are. So if I can here, I'm just gonna. This one's actually within grasp, so hopefully it shows up. But this is the Messer kit. There we
Okay,
go.
okay. Yep.
From
I
the
see
new
it.
Hathaway's Flash, and all the joints are actually all plastic, like hard plastic now.
Ooh,
Tight fitting
Okay,
hard plastic
nice.
joints.
nice.
Whereas before they would have used those little poly caps, the little rubber pieces. And
See?
the poly caps
Yeah.
stretch.
The
and-
R&D from Lego has not gone to waste.
Exactly. So
Lego, innovator of the hobby community.
they are.
Thank you, Lego. Except for when I step on you. Then fuck
Yeah,
you.
no, fuck you.
Now Lego has turned to the dark side and everything is so expensive and you can only build one thing with one kit.
Yep.
Why Lego? Stunting my
Why,
creativity.
Lego? I used to make anything I wanted out of my tub of random colored bricks.
Yeah. It's like
Anything. Yeah.
they've gone to the dark
Well, it's
side
because
now.
they can sell more stuff that way.
Mm.
You
Oh,
build
yeah.
your kit, yeah, you need to buy another kit.
I
Either
keep
you-
forgetting about this capitalism fellow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's either you live you die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself as the villain, which unfortunately Lego has. It's like no, my childhood. Anyway,
Oh, evil
Hey.
Lego.
on very quickly on to the third topic now. What are you most concerned about in your hobby or in the hobby?
Hobby in general, I'm
in general.
concerned of things becoming too wildly overpriced. Games Workshop is steadily marching towards that.
Yeah,
With all their new boxes being $70 Canadian and up. It's
Five dudes.
you guys are lucky.
$70.
You guys are lucky.
Hard. That's really hard for a new player to
It's
get
not
into
our
the game.
fault we don't live in Oceania.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky that it's $80. Like, sorry, $70. Ours is 80.
Yeah. So I mean, they're
Yeah,
pricing
no,
out new
it's to our
customers.
point. Yeah,
So unless you're really gung ho set on buying those new models and getting into the hobby, it's shutting the door on growth essentially for the company.
Yeah. Like,
yeah. Which
I struggle to find a reason why a kid would come in and be able to buy any of the minis. Like, how that's gonna happen with their pocket
Even the
money.
single miniatures,
I mean, the
yeah.
single miniatures are so
$40 to
expensive.
$50 on a librarian. Like,
on a dude.
yeah, one dude.
Yeah. And it's like, what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
This is not inflation. This is something else.
Mhm.
This is avarice. Oh my god, the CEO of Games Workshop is the Orange Lantern.
He is. Yeah.
I don't
Boys,
think
we
it's him
figured it
though.
out.
I don't think it's him though. I think it's his board of directors or the people around him making the business decisions.
It could be a mixture of everything else too. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
Like,
it's
absolutely.
good to see.
Like, I remember Kev as being this cool guy that would walk around the office and he would talk to people and he would go to Warhammer World and talk to people playing in there. And people wouldn't know who he was.
That's
He'd be
surprising, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's him. I think at some point in the company, he's been sidelined, and now it's just the corporate entities, the directors, kind of like calling the shots in the business decisions, and the marketing team.
But whatever it is, it's like I said, it's going to get to the point where it's going to strangulate the growth for the company.
Yeah.
It will eventually lead the hobby to die off because Yeah.
Or drastically change, whether they like it or not. Like, the secondhand market is thriving for a reason
Yes.
because
And-
you can still get reasonable prices on miniatures.
correct, yeah.
And with 3D printing becoming more prevalent and better quality every day, one way that Games Workshop can combat that is sell STL files. Right? Instead of buying a kit, you could buy an STL file and
Yeah.
print your own miniatures.
Yeah.
Or, have an STL file that expires after a certain amount of time. So you know
Okay.
so many models.
Okay, so here's the weird thing about GW I don't understand, right? So I know for a fact that GW can compete with 3D printing in terms of price. They can.
Yep.
Because they have internal production and internal distribution.
Yeah, everything's always been internal, yeah.
Yes. But the problem that I saw when I was working there in GW, and I don't know if you didn't see this, right, was that they really lack any kind of automation in that process, any kind of robotics. Like, you see an Amazon sorting factory, and it's like barely any people. It's like the people are kind of there just to make sure things are working and to move things from one conveyor belt to another. That's it. And
So,
like,
Bill, I can tell you by working in logistics and third-party warehousing that the robotics is getting there, but it's still not to the point that it can do everything that we want it to. The robotics cannot move skids of product yet. They're still too heavy.
Yep.
Everything done by robotics is like piece picking, one small parcel moving to another place, putting it in a sorting machine or something like that.
Yep.
So potentially what is happening with Games Workshop is their production plants are still palletizing everything, moving them to a distribution center where it's then distributed to stores and rogue traders to use the Games Workshop lingo. And that still requires people and machinery heavy enough to do that.
Yeah. Whereas my thinking is basically my thinking is like, okay, what about the sprue manufacturing, the injection molding process? They're definitely light enough to have, like, not need a person there to, constantly be doing that by hand.
Right.
Like, I don't get that. Like, so why is there a sprue sorter? Why is it like sprues are light enough so that like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, you can sort them out, like in the manufacturing process, you can I don't know how you would do it. Like, that's not my area.
Then I wouldn't have a biovore with hobbit farmers in it.
I can only imagine the dude packing that blister pack just pissed off at the company. Takes
0% shit that day. Yeah. He just had a really bad meeting about his next raise, and he's like, "Fuck it, Farmer Maggot, you're going in with the goddamn biovore."
Yeah. So my thing is basically like we can definitely I think GW can definitely automate some of the more menial tasks, especially when it comes to like sorting, packing, and packaging. Like, doesn't need to be a person doing that. There definitely doesn't need to be a person be doing that.
For sorting, robotics still require some sort of queue to sort it properly, and that requires sprues to either be larger to accommodate a barcode, or the barcode to be on the foot tag of a model or something to be able to scan it and move it somewhere else. Whereas someone sorting it by hand just gets like a tub of sprues dumped on their conveyor, and they chuck sprues onto other conveyors, and then that all gets
legs, head.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That makes a lot of sense. And good job combining your professional skill set with your passion right there.
Yeah.
15 years in logistics has to, pay off somehow.
Yeah, sooner or later, it becomes relevant.
Yep. But again, I think that will be the main issue with GW. That pricing model. It's just it's a little bit of avarice, but also a little bit of like it's just not very efficient. They haven't done it for such a large company.
It creates inbuilt gatekeeping, which is hugely stupid given the nature of the product and the system. Like, if it was priced the way it is now, when like 11-year-old John David wandered into the Games Workshop on Queen Street,
There's no way. There's no way.
No way.
There's no way.
no man, I would have just stuck with D&D solid and been like, "What's a miniature?" I use my imaginations.
Oh,
It's
Yeah, I
free.
would have just like bought D&D miniatures. I wouldn't have cared. Like goddamn, like what was it? Star Wars Legion had a bit of a price hike, and even with their 30% price hike, they had a 30%
Still more
price hike.
reasonable.
it's still reasonable, yeah.
They're like a good still
Yeah.
40% like off from GW retail, and that's surprising. That's really surprising.
And then, like you
I
said,
grabbed a
miniatures.
Ren recently because the package was damaged, so I got a little bit extra.
Yeah.
Mostly as a painting project because I want to see if I can do the graffiti armor.
I'm gonna do fully chrome B2 super battle droids.
Nice.
Oh fucking A!
Take a look at the shine.
But Bill, like you were saying, those D&D miniatures being produced by Wizards right now are incredible. They're beautiful and
Yeah.
they're dirt cheap.
Yep. I bought 4 of them. I bought 4 big monsters to convert them with some Warhammer pieces to use in Warhammer.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
how is it that I can buy 4 models, 4 big, like 60mm models,
Yeah,
for
like
less than
I
a
was
quarter
buying
of...
a Fomorian today, and it's Canadian $13.95, and he's like this big.
Yeah, I bought 2 skittering horrors and 2 giant spiders for $20 or something, including like shipping. It wasn't even $30. Which
Yeah,
is insane.
absolutely. My only quibble is the plastic is a little soft.
It is a little
But
soft.
otherwise, detail quality is amazing.
I think what they're doing with the plastic is they're doing it on purpose because they see, like, okay, so I've never had like a D&D like WizKids break, but like Warhammer models break all the
No.
time.
Yeah.
No,
That's probably why they
just
do it.
removing mold lines is a little grosser.
Yeah, it is definitely a little grosser. It is definitely a little grosser, but I think the fact that I can like slam it down and be like, okay, it's fine, because
Yeah,
it's so
exactly.
bendy.
Or have it fall off the table and not shatter.
Yeah, because
Or
guess
chip.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
because guess what? Like even though GW plastic is pretty good, it does like even if you plastic glue, right? I've had arms fall off like when they've been securely plastic glued, and it's like that's not on.
Oh, I had one of my best friend's birthdays over here, and I'm still gluing arms back on orcs and space marines, and because like someone would just take a sharp turn and like,
See, that's why
it's fine. You're drunk. It's fine.
you see that's why I would just be like, I will hide everything in a secure place in a room
I
where
thought
I'm
I
locked.
did. I did all the really breakable stuff. I thought it would be fine. I didn't expect that much long hair, wigs, and flowing garments.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, basic concerns, like priced out, gatekeeping. It's not good.
Yes.
It's not good for any kind of hobby to be doing that.
No, it's not. And
No.
it's unfortunate.
Which I've noticed in a lot of the Discord groups I'm part of, there's a growing old hammer community, like people who are playing 40K either from 2nd till 5th or fantasy from about 3rd to 6th.
Mhm.
And
You see,
they're just like, I don't like the new rules. They're stupid.
like you see,
And that's another thing. They're putting out new rules almost every year, a new edition every year, and it's just
One Space Marine Codex a year, kids.
and it's
Sometimes
becoming
two.
too hard to keep up and too costly to keep up.
Yep. I
Yeah,
found
especially with the codices being $50.
Mhm.
65, 68 here, 68.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And so just so you know, right, the Singapore dollar is on parallel with the Canadian dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So
So-
you just get screwed that little bit extra because
No,
of
no.
the perception of you being difficult to get to.
Yeah, and it's not as bad as the Australians, but it's still like getting bad to the point where
Not
like,
good.
why is it that like a patrol, like which is a patrol box, a new start collecting, is like $300 plus, and I'm like,
Obnoxious.
how is a kid supposed to afford this? Like you can only
They're
get
not.
you can only get so much like Chinese New Year money. This is ridiculous. Like $100, $150, reasonable.
Yeah.
Chinese
Yeah,
New Year
yeah,
money,
that's what they used to be, and
Yeah. but it's doubled.
and it contains enough stuff that most young or learning hobbyists, that's anywhere between like 2 and 6 months of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I don't think anyone's like realized this, but like yeah, the stock collecting's doubled in price.
It had at least,
Yeah,
if not more,
it's way too much, and it's just like
because I remember those battalion boxes used to come with like 3 units and like maybe
A thing.
yeah, a thing.
yeah,
And now it seems like the start collecting comes with like a thing and 2 units, but it's like twice the price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're often monopose.
Yeah.
yeah. The new models are more or less all model pose. So posing them is a bit of a bitch.
Minute customization.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all their shoulders are angled in a way where they can only naturally go like this or like
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and it's real weird.
So if you wanna, yeah, I've had to shave so many freaking Primaris to get them into a better position.
I've just given up
like-
on posing Primaris. It's just not worth it for the time.
I haven't tried posing Primaris yet because all my Primaris are the mono pose from the starter boxes.
It's the same.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah, so but I will try soonish. I guess that brings back around to the posing of the Space Marines.
Yeah,
Um,
the
but
posing
a
situation is
Dremel,
not
a
good.
Dremel and Putty is your best friend, especially for the
Yeah.
single pose Marines.
Yep.
And a little bit of wire.
A little bit of
yep.
wire. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just hold that shit together while you're getting your putty in there.
Yeah, but how easy was it like back in the day when we had the firstborn Marines now, where it's just like
Oh,
torso,
easy.
legs, backpack,
Yep.
2 arms and a head.
yep. And then if
Yeah.
you wanted to give those legs a different pose, you just cut out the backs of the knees and down the front of the knee pad, and you can repose that leg any way you wanted.
Yep. I didn't even care. I basically just I would cut out that little like sliver, that little like triangle T of like joint there.
Yep.
And a neat trick is that like you can kind of just bend that to wherever you need to go, and then you just
Yeah, and then just gap fill a little bit.
fill. Yeah. So you keep the integrity of the knee.
That's the wrong box. But
Hobbyist problems. Oh, that's the
Hobbyist
wrong
problems.
box of stuff.
that's the wrong box of stuff. They're all actually under my bed here, but no, it's out of reach. But I do have
Send some in for Wednesdays.
Yeah, just send some in for
have-
Wednesdays.
This guy here.
Oh look, the Tau Man. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah,
cut
like-
down pulse rifles and carbines. And his one hand is actually an Imperial Guard hand, you'll notice.
Yep.
With
So
an
he
extra
has
finger.
one extra finger.
Yeah. But
You little Tau Man.
No, that's awesome. I remember when you made that for Necro.
yeah. Part of my Tau Necromunda gang.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm really concerned for the future of the hobby somewhat when it comes to like the pricing models and like what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, just gonna take it one day at a time and see what it goes. But it's annoying to have to think about that. It was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I think the hobby will persist even if Games Workshop fucks up hard and like burns itself in the water. It'll just be in that weird area that D&D was for a little while. Like after Wizards of the Coast picked it up, and like the TSR crew were like, and they hadn't developed a new fan base yet. Like it'll just go kind of underground.
yeah. I think that like the whole rumor that GW is trying to sell itself to like Wizards to the Hasbro or something like that. Quite frankly, with how they've been managing themselves and how they've been like handling everything, I don't think that would be a bad idea. I genuinely like. It might be an unpopular theory, an unpopular opinion, but I would rather have
I would be happier if they went to Wizards of the Coast or another gaming company as opposed to a toy company.
Well, Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. It's the parent company.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all under that same umbrella. Hey, look at that. We've got a little Tanto.
oh yeah, Super
Nice.
Duper. And the Power Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the katana was made out of plasticard.
Nice.
That's,
Oh!
that's great.
Yeah, send them all in on Wednesday. We'll do a whole.
Send them all in on Wednesday. Look at that. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, Casserkin with
Casserkin. Casserkin, baby. Oh, the
everything
OG one.
Tempestus Scions wish they were.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think that like just the feeling I get from GW is that they're a company that grew too big too quickly, and they haven't really spent the money on the fundamentals of growing a company.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of like falling apart at the seams, and it's like, what the hell?
I kind of agree, but at the same time, they have enough momentum to keep their boat afloat, even though they keep pulling on more water.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they can definitely keep the boat afloat, but I would rather see that a larger entity like actually take it over and like establish like proper protocols for GW, because this is insane right now. It's insane right now.
No, absolutely.
Which is just the way of business. Like it's like this is the obviously like you have a bunch of nerds there, and nerds are really good at starting a business when it comes to like their passions. But when you tell them to go like when you tell them to go corporate, it doesn't go well.
and that's what the problem is, I think. Like,
Yeah.
Gamesworkshop was started by people like Space McQuirk and
It's
not
Brian Airsole and
and it's just not what
a bunch of like metalheads who liked acid and sci-fi.
and it's just not something they can like presumably keep running right now. So
Yep. Exactly. And on that note, I think it is time to end the show. It has been an hour plus, an hour and 3 minutes, but it is all good. Yeah, plus.
perfect.
All right, Chris, is there anything you'd like to plug before we end the show and plug our stuff?
Well, yeah, definitely check out Dragon Tooth Makes and check out Mr. Molly Malau on Instagram and YouTube.
Yay!
Molly's been a great friend of mine for almost 20 years now, and
Yeah, we were doing the math earlier. It's about 19 years this summer.
Yep.
Bill seems like he's great people, so support him as much as you can.
I am people. Plural.
So many people.
Support your local hobby groups, guys. I mean, they're the lifeblood of what we're trying to promote here.
Yeah.
And without them, there would be no Games Workshop. There would be no Bandai.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go to your locals, join groups, engage with social media like Discord and Twitch. It's a great place to expand your hobby community globally.
Yep.
And most of all, just have fun with what you're doing. If you're not having fun with what you're doing, what's the point, right?
Exactly.
Right on, man. Yeah.
Right on.
Wise Chris.
Yes. Wise Chris. All right, guys. Thank you for supporting us. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit that like button. Share this video around and
like
comment
button.
down below because it helps down the algorithm to get this video around. I don't know how it works. It just seems like when people comment more, it gets put around more. Don't know.
It's true. It's a
Don't forget to hit
mysterious,
that-
horrible entity. But appease the algorithm. Feed it comments and likes.
Yes, exactly.
And don't forget to hear that or hit that notification button. It looks like a bell.
Yeah, the
Does
bell
look like
button.
a bell.
Yeah. Oh man, thank you very much, and have a great night and rest of the day for me, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, guys. I'll see ya. Bye.
Later.
Into the darkness, there is only war in the grim dark future. There's no